Welcome to DIY Easy Crafts and BergKnifeMaking.com. Today we're going to take a look at how to make cast resin knife handles using Cholla Cactus. Now Cholla Cactus is a great material to work with. You can really end up with some cool looking results. I'm going to show you this. There's a bunch of ways of doing this. Of course, I'm just showing you the way that I made these two scales. Now the Cholla Cactus that I found this down at the local arts and supply store, Michael's Arts and Supply. It actually came in 6-inch lengths, which was perfect. The molds that I have, which are from a company called Woodcraft, are 6 by 2 inches. So they were already basically cut to length. I split them, and then I sanded down the back to make it flat so it would fit nice and flat into the mold. You gotta excuse my voice today, I'm coming off of a cold. And then I cleaned off any of the really loose debris from the cactus wood. And just made sure that each one fit perfectly into that mold. The next step is going to be to stabilize this cactus. This cactus is not very hard wood. I use cactus juice, and you really just submerge it in the cactus juice. You can reuse this this juice after you stabilize the wood. I did have to sink that wood so it was completely submerged. I just used a lead weight, and this goes into a vacuum chamber. Put the lid on the vacuum chamber. I'm going to turn it on, and you're gonna vacuum this. You'll start to see little bubbles coming out of the Cholla Cactus. You want to really vacuum it until no more bubbles come out. I left it for a full day, 24 hours. You can't go too long, but you could certainly come too short. After 24 hours, I released air from the vacuum, or I let air into the vacuum chamber, and then again I let it sit for another full day before taking it out of the chamber. So after you're done vacuuming it, you want to leave it submerged in the cactus juice for at least another day. Then I take it out of the cactus juice. I kind of dabbed it off on a paper towel just to get rid of some of the extra juice. And then that has to be baked. I bake it in a little toaster oven. This I did for at 275 degrees for about 2.5 hours. And when it comes out of the oven, it's nice and hard. That stabilizes the wood. That makes sure it's not going to warp on you. It's going to be nice and hard in the finished product. So I sanded it again. There was some drippings of that cactus juice, hardened cactus juice on the base of each piece of the Cholla Cactus. And at the same time, I brought down the total height of each piece. So they're still proud. They still stick a little bit up off the top of the mold, but they're not, an inch high. Now I'm using a resin from TotalBoat.com. It is their thick set resin. Now this is a 3-to-1 resin. It's mixed. I mix it by volume rather than by weight, so it's very easy to mix. You have to stir this stuff slowly for at least 5 minutes. But the real benefit here is that it is a very thin resin that takes a long time to cure. It gives plenty of time for the bubbles to reach the surface, to float out of the resin itself. And you don't need a pressure pot. Now, using this on Cholla Cactus is really pushing the envelope a little bit. Cholla Cactus is kind of, has a lot of rough edges on it that will catch on to bubbles. Anyway, I did one set in clear, and I mixed some black dye into the other set, and then I poured a little clear over it because I wanted to have the black background, but I also wanted to be able to see that Cholla Cactus, all that characteristic to the wood itself on the surface. I let this dry for 3 days before I take it out of the molds. And probably don't even want to work it, grind it or sand it for at least 5 to 7 days. Now the clear, I thought I could just put different color liners behind it to get the effect that I was looking for, whether it be, red, yellow, blue, black. But then again, I'm also pretty happy with the way that the black casting came out. And again, I had a lot of people ask the last time I did these, resin handles. The molds themselves come from a company called Woodcraft. A lot of different companies have them. They seem to have the best price the last time I bought them. Cleaning these things up was pretty simple. I went right back to the 2x72 grinder. I made them flat on a very coarse grid and then sanded to 80. And then after that, I just went to an oscillating sander. I sanded 400, 600, 1,000, 2,000, and then buffed it for a couple minutes on the buffing wheel with a little bit of compound. And the end result is really nice. A lot of detail. If you look, real close, especially on the clear one, you can see a couple of little bubbles, a couple little spots. But when I profile these onto a knife handle, if those are still showing, if they haven't been ground away, those will be easily filled with a little bit of resin or a little CA glue. Overall, I am absolutely thrilled with the way these came out. Again, the resin was from TotalBoat.com. It's their thick set resin. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I ask that you please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this YouTube channel. I'd also absolutely love it if you took a minute and told me what you liked or didn't like about the video. I really appreciate the feedback. I'd also like to give you an invite to join us on our Facebook group, Knives and Knife Making. And if you're interested in making your own knives, you can check out the book that Jason Northgard and I put out about a year and a half ago, called Introduction to Knife Making, and that can be found on Amazon.com. Thank you very much, and again, I apologize for the voice today. Bye-bye.